And let's call this enemy 1. Enemy 1, I'm going to model off of the flying Medusa heads in Castlevania. So they are going to be a bullet. They're also going to be a Sine, because if you remember, they kind of like float up and down as far, and also, fly left and right. The enemy will have variables such as health. That's pretty much it. Pretty basic health. This is going to be a simple enemy. Okay, so we're all good here. The Sine is going to be active on start. The movement is going to be vertical because the bullet movement is going to be horizontal. The Sine movement is going to be vertical. And let's just take a look at this really quick. I'm just going to put it right in front of the player. I'm going to drop the speed to 0, and we're going to see what this looks like. So you can see the Sine going vertical, just like the Medusa heads. Let's add a little bit of speed. You can see now it's going that way, which is not the way that we want it to go. We want to set angle. Medusa heads. On creation, because we're going to use a creation object, so I might as well design that right now. Alright, we need something to create these enemies, so I'm going to make basically an every X second type of deal. It's going to create them. Let's do every 2 seconds, sure, why not? Can change that later. Create object, Medusa head. Player layer is layer 1. The X and Y, I'm going to leave it 0. And I'm going to show you why, because I want to get the good coordinates. I want the Medusa heads to be coming right to left mainly, because that's where I'm originally starting. And then also I'm going to be backtracking, going left to right, and so I also want them to go that way. So I might make 2 different kinds. Spawn types. First, let's make the right to left kind. So go to the edge of your layout. No, there's a couple different ways. You can make them based on your player position, and then just barely outside of the window, you can create your view window. You can create these objects. By default, I'm used to creating stuff outside of the layout. I need to think on that more because we're basically just right here. But the creation depends on how you do it. I have to do it based on the position of the player, which I can. I don't want to right now. Let's start simple and I can adjust. Look at the XY axis over here, which is down here, of course, your mouse position. So I'm going to go a little bit outside of the X axis, which is all the way over. Let's say let's call that 1750. Then over here, we have 700, 650. That's 725. I'm getting out of hand here. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm an idiot. Negative 50 and 1750. Okay. Let me create the first one here. So the x-axis is going to be all the way to the right. Now the y-axis is going to be, we should have it more centralized around the player. I should have it based on the player. So what I'm going to do, player dot y position, and we can start there. Because the player y position is always going to be wherever he is in the middle. The x position I want to be over here, which is great. Let's make these haul ass. Haul That's a little bit fast. That's a little too slow. It's half the speed of the bullet. One thing I need to tag on this version that I'm making is enemy 1. I want to set the object angle of motion to 180 degrees because I want it to follow the player. Let's see what this looks like. I'm going to add something up here. Ooh, I don't have that built yet. Okay. One thing you'll notice that I have enemy 1 here. I have them also right here. Usually what you do is you're not going to start an enemy right on screen, right in front of you. I could leave him over here since he'd be out of the way. But usually a lot of time you put your assets down here. And if you're using a create or something like that, well, even not, but you will end up, I think I covered this once, start of layout, you are going to, enemy 1 is going to auto destroy itself. Same thing, and do the same thing with the bullet. Because what'll happen is, since these are down here, there's nothing really saying, hey, destroy when outside of layer, because we got rid of that one because it was kind of redundant. If we kept it around, then it would destroy, and that's great. But if I would have kept it in here, then it wouldn't destroy, and it would probably just automatically float towards me or away from me. Same thing here. If I kept this here, it could be floating like this underneath me, and I could see it, barely poking up and down, and I'd be like, oh crap, that's broken. It obviously didn't spawn that way because I didn't want it to spawn. And that could confuse you as you're designing something. Like if you expect something to spawn right here and it's going like that, and you see something going down here like that, you could think something's broken, when really, you have something that you want to destroy. Let's take a look and see what we have. And hopefully the y-axis is playing off right. Yep, there we go. We have our enemies every 2 seconds, and they're hauling ass. Let us slow that down a little bit. Now they are spawning way over there, so I can fix that since I did fix the y-axis anyway. So now you can see these are going to add a little level of difficulty. Whoa, 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 whoa! Plus they can't hurt you. Plus you can't kill them yet anyway. Yeah. Let's see, what the hell is I going to do? Let me play through that again. Oh, okay. So I'm going to make them spawn a little closer to the player. I could do that. What are the benefits of that or downfalls? It takes less time getting to the player, which means I would probably have to increase the spawn rate to offset that, or else you'll just be swarmed with stuff. Let's keep it the same right now, and I need to add a couple things. We need to kill these enemies. So on PlayerBullet 1, collision with enemy 1. Enemy 1. What are my variables? Subtract from the health variable 1. And that's really not going to do much until we add enemy 1 compare variable. Health is less than. Always use a less than. Most likely use a less than. Or you could use a less than equal to, but the equals has a lot of flaws because it's easy to skip over one integer and go to the next integer, and then it's, the thing's not, it's not working. So when the enemy health variable is less than 1, it gets destroyed. How does it decrease less than 1? Because to start it's 2. It decreases when the player bullet collides. Something we're also going to need is when this happens, we want to player 1 bullet destroy. So that way our bullet just doesn't go through the enemy like nothing ever happened, or like it went through them, even though a bullet can go through something. And I'd even put that up top so it happens immediately.